You also want to look for a steak that is cut evenly, even thickness from one end to the other, so it's going to cook evenly. That's about that ribeye there is about 1 inch thick, and it goes all the way across the steak. Something like this, for example, this is a sirloin. That is not a good cut. See it tapers down. It's going to be well done right here, and it's going to be rare right here, because it's almost impossible to cook evenly. This one also has a big line of gristle going right through the center, which you'll find from time to time on sirloins. So I wouldn't choose that one. Okay, now Angus and Wagyu, you may have heard these terms. Those are actually type of cows. They don't refer to a type of steak. And Angus cow, black Angus, that's a species of cow. Generally, they're bred for better cuts of meat, to be a better eating steak, and they may have a slightly different flavor. But it is not a steak, and it's not a grading score either. They're still going to be graded prime, choice, select, and standard. You may have heard the term Kobe beef. Kobe beef and Wagyu beef. Kobe beef is made in Japan from Wagyu cattle. It is not a different kind of cow. It's the same kind of cow. We've got American Wagyu here. It's got very high marbling. It is a species of cow, but they raise it a certain way to they basically fatten up the meat more. They raise it for several months longer, and the meat gets fattier. And then in Japan, they take the Wagyu cattle almost to an art form. They feed it beer. They take it for walks. It's very relaxed, and it eats a lot, so it's very fatty. They even give it massages and stuff. So that's why Kobe beef costs so much money. I don't have any of that here because I could barely afford this stuff. So, okay, and just because it says steak on the package doesn't mean it's a steak. For instance, the beef round, Eye of Round steaks, $3.24. There's a reason it's that cheap. You look at it, oh, premium beef, steak, you think you're going to grill this. Yeah, don't buy this and grill it. Trust me, save yourself. There's a reason this is extremely lean beef. This is really meant to be made into Salisbury steak, or for braising, essentially, which is you sear both sides and then you cook it in a liquid. It tenderizes it. It needs to break down that connective tissues. You don't want to grill this. So this is good for beef stroganoff. This is good for Salisbury steak. You could cube it up and cook it in a stew, and it'll fall apart because it'll be slow cooked. But this is not a grilling steak. Other steaks such as the chuck steak or round steak, those are also not great for grilling. Chuck is the front of the cow. The rump or the round is the back of the cow. Those are good for roasting, but they've got too much connective tissue and stuff to make a tender grilling steak. If you want a good eating steak off the grill, you're going to want to pick from these 5. Also, my last tip for you: never buy steak off the back of a non-refrigerated van. There's some kind of shady characters that take old beef around in a truck and say, oh, I got this great deal on some steaks. And, it's cheaper because there's probably something wrong with it. You could get sick. They don't have the same standards of cleanliness or anything. There's really no regulation on it. So avoid that. Stick with the grocery store or your butcher. Another good tip is make friends with your butcher. If you're a regular customer and he knows you by name, he's going to give you the better cuts off the cow. Just makes good sense. Alright, well, thanks. I hope I've enlightened you some. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to go start eating one of these things and get the rest back in the fridge. And we'll talk to you guys next time. We'll see you later.